Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat is Parsha Eikev, and Moses actually continues his dialogue with the Israelites. So for those of you that don't know, I take the Torah portion of the week for my sermon. As I said, I don't do politics up here, but what I do is I make this document that's almost 6,000 years old relevant to our lives. And pretty much usually whatever's going on in our life is actually relatable that week to the Parsha in the Torah. But I'm going to actually read some words directly from the Torah for this Shabbat because I do think they're important, especially as we're about to head into High Holy Days. And for those of you that don't know, the whole book of Devarim is a reiteration of what's already gone on before because the Israelites are about to have that possibility of who's going to go into the Promised Land and who isn't. So, Moses continues with his speech to the Israelites and says, "It will come to pass as a result of your hearing these 10 commandments and carrying them out with care, that God will keep with you this covenant. God will love you, bless you, and multiply you. God will bless the fruit of your body, your soil, your grain, wine, oil, and animals. You will be blessed more than all peoples. But," Moses' words, "you will have to annihilate many people. Your eyes shall not feel any mercy for them, so that you will not serve their gods, for this is a trap for you. Do not fear them, for God, your God, is a great and awesome God. God will deliver them up before you, and you shall destroy them. The images of their idols, of their gods, shall burn in the fire. Do not lust after the silver and the gold that is upon them, and take it for yourself. Do not do that, for it is an abomination to God. Remember the entire path along which God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness. God let you go hungry, then gave you manna in order to have. You know that it is not by bread alone that man can make a life for himself, but that man can live by everything that comes from God. Therefore, hold fast upon your heart the knowledge that as a man trains his son, so does God train you." These are very powerful words, and I share them in their entirety because just as Moses recounts all that passed in this last book of the Torah, so must we take heed and recount so as to feel the full measure of what appears to be our blessings and our curses as we approach High Holy Days. Moses is very concerned for the Israelites. He states in this Parsha how unruly, how ungrateful they have been during the journey. Those of you that take Torah study, you know about this. He isn't going to see the Promised Land. Moses does not get in. And as it turns out, neither will any of the older generation. It is up to the ones who did not experience the Exodus firsthand, that Micha Mocha moment that we danced around, or the ones that built the golden calf to carry the light, the commandments, and God's word forward. 2 great passages appear in this Parsha: the promise of a land flowing with milk and honey, and the fact that man does not live by bread alone, but by God's word. How many of you heard those sayings? God spoke, and the whole world came into being. This last book, Devarim, Deuteronomy, is a book, as I said, that reiterates with words the language of the entire story, even gives the commandments again, lest we forget. We are known as a people of the book. We are meant to carry it with us wherever we go. We are meant to uphold its precepts and share in its message. Yet in order to do that, we have to acknowledge deep within our soul that it is a part of us, that it was given to us, and that we are accountable both to it and to God. Moses recounts the major mistakes that were made along the way, the golden calf, the incident with the spies, etc., goes on and on. But he reminds them that God, as the ultimate parent, was forgiving, protected them on the journey, gave them a double portion of manna, and even when they were broken, a second set of the tablets of the commandments. As we begin to look toward our days of awe, it is important to begin this process of reflection and recounting in our lives that will open up our heart and open up our soul, making us ready to receive all the light that is available to us during those days of awe. Awe is defined as a feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear and wonder. This is what Moses was trying to accomplish with the Israelites, and thousands of years later, this is what we must connect to today. The polarity between fear and wonder is awe-inspiring. Defined as breathtaking, amazing, stunning, that which could arouse awe through being impressive, formidable, and magnificent. This is why we work so hard for the Yamim Noraim to make them more than Shabbat, to make them grander, bigger. I like to refer to them as the Super Bowl of Judaism. We are like quarterbacks in the Super Bowl, but we're doing it for God, and we're doing it for ourselves, and we are doing it for the world. Dan, the musicians, myself, all of our volunteers, so much goes into it. Everyone has actually already started preparing. All my sermons are in the works, 2/3 of each one, all 4 sermons, it's done. We all work diligently and tirelessly toward these days, hoping that the experience will be reverent and awe-inspiring, breathtaking, and amazing. Why? Because we want to show up for ourselves, for our world, and for God. Just as Moses reflected and directed the Israelites' energy, so must we too manifest destiny and God's true plan for us all, as Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and our King, our Sovereign. We are human, we err, but High Holy Days gives us the chance to make our amends to others, to forgive as God did, in order to go forward. We are meant not to give in to false gods, to worship things that don't serve us. How many of you have ever done that? And to go forward with faith in Torah and in the light of the commandments that we carry inside of us. As we move toward High Holy Days in just 5 weeks, let us begin the process now. Those of you that are just visiting Temple Emet for the first time, we would love to have you with us. It's quite a thing. We have these ones here, but we have flute, and we have saxophone, and we have cello, and we have 4 professional soloists. It's a great, great thing. We have the harp, yes, and we miss Hilda, she's not here. We have so much going on. What? Trumpet? We're having trumpet? I don't know. A couple years we haven't had trumpet. People decided it was too loud. We're going to have trumpet? Oh, we're having trumpet. There we go. And of course, there's the shofar. So as we begin to prepare, let us look at everything and everybody in our lives, and let us figure out what serves us. Let us figure out what depletes us, what works, and what doesn't. Let us reach to make the connection within and with God, to pull us out of all that holds us back in order to propel us forward. That's what it's about. We are meant to have a land flowing with milk and honey in every corner of our lives, everyone in the world, just as the fringe talit is on 4 corners representing the 4 corners of the world. We are meant to, all of us, wherever we go in the world, know that God is with us, that God spoke and the world came into being, and that God provided for us, gave us a structure to work within in order to create for ourselves a life of abundance, like the double portion of manna or 2 chalot on Shabbat. The promise is ours. We just need to take care of our business and get out of our own way. May all of us be worthy. May we reach for that promise. May we take care of what we need to so that we can be blessed and strong and full of abundant health, joy, happiness. May we be so worthy that we merit a true, good, sweet new year, not for just ourselves alone, but for the purpose of sharing. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom.